This training video is presented to demonstrate best safety practices for temporary traffic control. In the video, we provide a closer look at how a typical lane closure is set up and taken down on the main turnpike. While this video doesn't show all possible variations of the setup, it does provide an overview of the standard process performed by all maintenance camps. The main turnpike takes safety very seriously and adheres to all of the latest safety guidelines. Lane closures will be set up and taken down the same way at all maintenance camps. Safety is in your hands. Let's take a look at how to set up a single lane closure on the main line beginning at the maintenance yard with the job safety analysis meeting. Then, we'll look at how to stage vehicles before the actual setup. Watch how the vehicles are positioned and note the movements of each team member. The video will break down each stage of the closure and the safety precautions implemented. All closures begin at the maintenance yard. It is here that everyone participating in the lane closure attends a 10-minute Job Safety Analysis, or JSA meeting. At this meeting, each team member will acknowledge their assignments and duties, ensure proper high-visibility clothing is being worn, confirm their assigned vehicle and equipment is in good working order, and make sure that all traffic devices necessary for the lane closure are in good condition and properly loaded into the vehicle. This graphic shows the next step in preparing the lane closure. Following the Job Safety Analysis meeting and establishing radio communication, the vehicle is then moved to and stage on the shoulder of the road, a nearby ramp, or an emergency vehicle ramp. The specific staging area will depend on the location of the closure. In a single left lane shoulder closure with a wide median, the staging order of the vehicles from approaching traffic are the truck-mounted attenuator, the traffic control truck, and the pickup truck with aero board. Once ready and the team is in radio contact with each other, the vehicles leave the yard. The roadwork 1 mile signs are placed by the traffic control truck to alert traffic of an upcoming work zone. Be sure that crossing lanes on foot can be done safely. Consider any load being carried, the distance traveled, the volume and speed of the traffic, and the ability to escape in an emergency. At no time should crew members stop to pick up dropped signs, easels, or other items unless they are certain it can be done safely. The truck-mounted attenuator and pickup are staged on the ramp until the traffic control truck arrives. All vehicles move into place with the truck-mounted attenuator behind the pickup to place the left lane closed half-mile signs concurrently on the main line and ramp. These signs are placed on the shoulder and median sides of the main line traffic, so both lanes of travel can see the signs for the upcoming lane closure. The traffic control truck continues ahead to set the left lane end sign. Once set, it moves to the first part of the closure, the shoulder closure. Once in place, the traffic control truck radios the other vehicles telling them it's ready for the next step. The truck-mounted attenuator confirms when it's safe to move ahead and alerts the pickup and traffic control truck it's on the way. Now that the advance warning signs are placed, we prepare for the first components of the physical lane closure. The order of the vehicles that are first seen by approaching traffic are the truck-mounted attenuator, the traffic control truck, and the pickup truck with aero board. It's important to note the aero boards have been on bar up to this point. The pickup with aero board pulls into the shoulder to take the lead, and the truck-mounted attenuator moves into position behind the traffic control truck. Note that all vehicles maintain a minimum 200 to 250 foot distance from one another. It's important that this staging period is done as efficiently and safely as traffic will allow to minimize the amount of time waiting on the shoulder. When traffic clears, they cross the lanes to establish control of the far left lane and shoulder. Note how the trucks cross in unison, minimizing the amount of lane obstruction. During the crossover, the traffic control truck and the truck-mounted attenuator switch from bar to arrow. The pickup will switch to arrow after it is pulled onto the shoulder and begins the shoulder cone setup. The pickup team detaches the arrow board and begins the closure cone setup. The truck-mounted attenuator, positioned in the shoulder, is a minimum 1 delineator 250 feet back from the traffic control truck that is controlling the lane. The pickup then sets out 7 cones within the shoulder and 3 cones which are placed in the lane. Note that the pickup can remain in place with arrow board attached if no workers stay with the vehicle. The pickup team finishes setting the last 3 cones in the lane and pulls forward to leave the setup. All vehicles are set to arrow. The truck-mounted attenuator moves into the lane to shadow the traffic control truck, all while maintaining a minimum 200 to 250 foot distance from the traffic control truck as it moves ahead to prepare to enter the shoulder closure. All arrows are on. As the pickup team finishes setting the last 3 cones, the truck-mounted attenuator is blocking the shoulder as the traffic control truck is blocking the lane. After the pickup team pulls forward to leave the setup, the traffic control truck pulls forward to enter the closure. The truck-mounted attenuator pulls into the lane to shadow the traffic control truck, while maintaining a minimum 200 to 250 foot distance from the traffic control truck. The traffic control truck now backs into the cones set by the pickup team and prepares to take over setting out the remaining taper cones. The truck-mounted attenuator continues to occupy the lane and move ahead concurrently with the traffic control truck. Remember, the pickup can remain with the arrow board as long as the workers do not stay with the vehicle. The traffic control truck sets out the remaining taper cones, then sets up the work zone speed limit sign. When the situation allows, set the sign in the middle of the closed lane. This will minimize wind from blowing the sign into an active lane. Once the speed limit sign is set, the closure is considered official, though not complete, even though the buffer space and work zone cones are not yet set. At this point, all vehicles within the closure should be set to bar. The traffic control truck sets out the cones establishing the buffer space and work zone. The truck-mounted attenuator can now either leave the site or pull into the closure. The traffic control truck sets out cones to where it'll set the end work zone speed limit signs. Once the signs are set, the traffic control truck backs up within the closed lane and collects 500 feet of cones, creating the required separation between work zone and end work zone limit. The traffic control truck then continues to back up in the closed lane until it's in position to provide its truck-mounted attenuator for the work zone. Note the traffic control truck practice of turning its front wheels away from traffic. At this point, the lane closure is complete and ready for the work crew to enter the work zone. The removal process or takedown of a lane closure is the reversal of the setup. Vehicles work from the end of the closure back to the beginning, with vehicles backing up to take down the setup. To begin the removal, the traffic control truck set to bar pulls into the lane closure and removes the end work zone speed limit sign. Then, it backs up within the closed lane to pick up the cones along the skip line in reverse order from when they were set. The pickup stages inside the closure to prepare to remove the shoulder cones and aero board. Note, the end work zone speed sign set on the right shoulder remains until all of the cones are picked up. When the traffic control truck has picked up all skip line cones and arrives at the work zone speed limit sign, the truck-mounted attenuator is called into position. The truck-mounted attenuator pulls onto the shoulder near the first of the cones while maintaining a minimum 200 to 250 foot separation from the aero board. The truck-mounted attenuator moves into the lane to shadow the traffic control truck. The traffic control truck, with aero on, removes the work zone speed limit signs and continues backing along the taper to remove the lane taper cones. The pickup removes the shoulder cones and attaches the aero board. The traffic control truck continues backing along the taper to remove the lane taper cones. It's important to note that whenever there is a need to exit or walk around a vehicle, exit or walk on the median side of the vehicle whenever possible. This prevents added exposure of the crew members to oncoming traffic. The traffic control truck has removed all lane taper cones and is on the shoulder. The pickup truck has attached the aero board and removed the shoulder cones, while the truck-mounted attenuator continues to control the lane. The truck-mounted attenuator should maintain a minimum 200 to 250 foot separation from the remaining cones. All arrows are now switched to the caution bar. The truck-mounted attenuator, the pickup truck, and the traffic control truck all leave together. The lane closure removal is complete when the traffic control truck circles back around and picks up the remaining signs set on the shoulder.